Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Saleh from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?
Hello and welcome to Ray's Breakfast, hashtag what are you saying, where we keep you informed, inspired and entertained every morning. It's Wellness Wednesday, and as the Harmattan season sweeps in with its dusty wind and chilly mornings, we're here to ensure your health doesn't take a backseat. As the saying goes, health is not valued until sickness comes. So today, we're diving into practical tips to help you stay healthy and vibrant this season. Of course, I'm your host. My name is Oluchi Omenka, and I'm joined again by my amazing co-host, the Lady Vibe. Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Oluchi. How are you?
I'm good. You're becoming my bestie these days.
How are you doing? What's going on from your end? I'm beautiful, as usual. I'm beautiful.
I'm good. I just want to take self-care very seriously this time. Yes.
Okay, when you say self-care, I want you to explain.
I'm trying to follow your footsteps.
Hallelujah.
You are one person that doesn't ever joke with self-care. And I just appear looking like I came from the moon.
Right.
2025, I'm going to take self-care very seriously.
I love it.
Do all the girly things, nails, lashes, skin, spa. So that means more money, guys.
More money.
Because self-care is not being.
It's not being.
That's how I'm feeling this morning. I feel like, being girly, taking care of myself, top-notch kind of care.
I love it.
Premium, I like that. So tell me, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. I mean, it's midweek, right?
Yes.
And, I think of late, they have really been not like very strong, or I don't know, I don't want to use the word bad energy, but I feel like everywhere is a lot calmer, Everywhere is just peaceful.
Would you say the weather contributes to that?
Yes, actually.
And that's why we're talking about it today.
And and I want to talk, but let's move on.
I want to play this quick game with you. I wish Kiki was here, but she couldn't. She can't join us this morning, so I'll let you see this game. So you know this thing they do on Instagram where they say, "Don't worry, safe." We just want to do almost like a what I've accomplished so far in 2024, but with the put your hands down edition of it. Do you understand? So I want you to put your hands up like this. Are you ready to play? You can play with us if you want
you guys,
to. We used to play
I'm
on this show. So the first thing, I'll just do like 10 of it. Let me put my hands up as well. So put your hands down if you went to a cinema this year.
I didn't actually.
Hey, good. We are going to be casted as boring individuals. Okay, put your hands down if you went on a date.
I did this year.
You do like this, you put one down.
Oh, you know, say I'm not so really state, so okay.
Put your hands down if you finished a book. Of course, we did finish plenty books.
Almost every month I was reading. I just finished one. I don't know if you know, what's this book? Something around idiots.
Idiots.
Yes.
No, I don't read books about idiots.
Okay, Surrounded by Idiots. That's the name of the book.
That's the one you just finished. I just finished Criminal Justice System. Sorry. All right, put your hands down if you woke up early this year. Of course, how do you do your wake up if you're not early?
Man.
Put your hands down if you exercised this year.
Yeah, I did.
Well, will you count trekking as part of it?
I
Because
don't know.
Waka Lagos this
Because
year.
I think they do. I mean, depend on the kilometers that you're able to cover.
Okay, put your hands down if you ate fruit and veggies this year.
Oh, yes. When I literally wasn't feeling well, my
They had
mom
to
made me
force you.
cucumber. Honestly, that was
Let me do
crazy.
2 more things. Put your hands down if you made new friends this year.
I
I'll
don't
put my
keep
own
friends.
hand. I know you. That's
So
why I said I'm going to say that
I
one.
would say, I would say network because I mean I'm able to. I feel like I'm where I am right now due to like the kind of people, kind of places I've met and I've spoken
no
to. So I would not
significant
say
new
friend, but
friend.
I would say partnership. I would say business-minded people. Yes.
So it's too serious.
Definitely.
Last one. Put your hands down if you're proud of what you've accomplished this year.
Of course.
I'm gonna put plenty
of course.
hands down.
I mean, you need to count. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I'm
if
not
you-
one of those persons to make unrealistic goals. Even next year, like, I have it all figured out. You feel me? But at the same time, even though I have it all figured out, I know for sure that extraordinary things are allowed to happen. So I
hallelujah.
consider them, you know.
All right, thank you for joining us in our little game. So whether you're worried about dry skin, keeping your little one safe, or you're just looking for ways to boost your immunity, this is one show you need to stick and watch till the very end. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please go to our official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button, like and share the link. So let's run on a break, and when we return, we'll return with the headlines across the globe and then our hot topics. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Glad to have you back from that break. Now let's take a look at the news from the pages of today's newspaper. Today we have The Punch, The Guardian, and The New York Times. I'll take you through the Punch paper. The major headline reads, 2027 presidency, Atiku Obi alliance can't unseat Tinubu, declares APC. PDP insists alliance will help rescue Nigeria from current pains as SDP and APGA others eye coalition. Above that, on the tax reform story, we see reps may resume debate as Southern Caucus prepares for talks. Judge remands Yahaya Bello and lawyers plan fresh bail application. Federal government to sanction airlines over delayed ticket refund. Taraba governor's sister allegedly shot by police escort dies. Sad. Farotimi, police alleged witnesses intimidation, opposes bail application. And the last story says relocation dispute, federal government cancels 64 billion naira Osun airport approval. Let me take the details for the Farotimi case, just a follow-up because that's been one of the very trending stories from the beginning of this week.
Yeah.
We saw yesterday that he was granted 50 million naira bail, but the Punch is giving us more details to that. It says an Ekiti State Magistrate Court in Ado-Ekiti on Tuesday sent lawyers and activists Dele Farotimi back to prison after the police vehemently opposed his application for bail, accusing him of intimidating witnesses. The magistrates adjourned till December 20 to rule on whether or not to admit Farotimi to bail, following the stiff opposition by the police. The police are prosecuting Farotimi on the allegation that he defamed legal luminary and senior advocate of Nigeria, Are Afe Babalola. And according to the police, the activist lawyer defamed Babalola in his book titled Nigeria and its Criminal Justice System. You can get full details on the Punch website. So it's so funny.
So that means he's going to be in prison till the 22nd of January.
Well, that's how it's looking like, but I'm not going to say...
Whoa.
Let's not be very... You know how this news always, it builds up. So I guess this is just a part of it, but there's a bit of, what's it called now? Back and forth with the whole bail stuff. So apparently... It's not looking like the 50 million will just be paid and then he'll go back to his family. There's some back and forth. Let's see the New York Times before we come back. Oh, before then, this particular news seems to be very sad. The Taraba governor's sister that was allegedly shot by police escorts dies. And this is not the kind of news that we want to be hearing at this time of the year. I remember when I was just going out on Sunday to get to refill my gas at home, and there was this woman that was rushing her son into the hospital. It was a scene, the way she was praying and saying, "I'm not going to lose you. I'm not going to lose you." It was very emotional.
Right.
And I can understand that at this time, you know, as Nigerians, and I mean anybody generally, we want to see the next year. So hearing any death news or story at this time can be really emotional.
It's crazy.
And we trust that we'll be kept safe till the next year. Apologies, or no apologies, our
condolences.
sincere condolences to the Taraba governor's sister or the family of them. All right, let's see the New York Times.
All right, so there's really nothing going on the New York Times, honestly speaking. But I'll just quickly read out the headlines. If you find any of them, you know, attractive or catchy, you can always check them out on their website. By the right side of the newspaper, we have shock, glee, and unease as Syrian wonder what's next. By the left side of the newspaper, jury acquits man who was tricking rider on subway. Middle of the newspaper, caught aid by steeper leads to arrest in NY killing. Next to that, intercepting self-harm and many false alerts. Beneath that, with their new power player, meet turntable on Yankees. Next to that, which is the last headline on the newspaper, we have the Haitians who flee. Haitians who flee to Dominican Republic are returned in cages. So that's all I have for you on the newspaper. If you find any of them, again, fascinating, you can always check them out on their website.
All right, before we wrap up the headline segment, I'd like to read some stories I found on the Guardian newspaper. Cash scarcity worsens as banks upgraded digital platforms falter. Court remands Yahaya Bello in Kuje pending bail application. ASU strike, students suspend planned protest, issues 48-hour ultimatum. Cybercrime law, defamation now weapons of prosecution. NGE and SERAP say. Consumers and NERC kick as Disco pushes for 240 naira per kilometer. Okay, I didn't get that very well. Let me move to the next story. Federal government suspends energy tariff review as 4-month subsidy hits 768.68 billion naira. Tax reform, Southern reps back Tinubu as stakeholders clash over VAT hike, economic impact. And that's all the story for this segment, all the headline stories that we can take, and filled with a lot of things that are very typically Nigeria. All right, we'll take a short break. When we return, we're talking about our health, how to stay healthy this Harmattan, tips for wellness. So please stay with us. We'll be joined by our expert guest. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Today is Wednesday, and typically on Wednesday we talk about our mental health and physical health. Today's topic is staying healthy this Harmattan, tips for wellness. Harmattan is a unique weather season in West Africa characterized by dry, dusty wind, low humidity and fluctuating temperatures. This season represents various health challenges such as respiratory issues, skin dryness, dehydration, and an increased risk of infections. And these conditions necessitate proper awareness and preventive measures to maintain overall wellness. As Harmattan sets in, it's important to address the health implications and equip people with practical tips to stay healthy. So for this show, the focus is on engaging our medical experts to explore health precautions, tackle myths, and share actionable wellness strategies during this season. Our guest is Dr. Eddidiong Udoh, also known as the Wellness Doctor. She's a medical doctor, author, and wellness coach. She had a bachelor's in medicine and surgery from the prestigious University of Ibadan and is currently working as a primary care physician in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. She has authored a book, Calories 101, where she shared tips and tricks that made her lose weight despite failed attempts at weight loss in the past. Another book, Anybody Can Lose Weight, will be released this December. It gives a more practical guide to achieve weight loss. That's very interesting. Good morning, Dr. Eddidiong. Are you here with us? Can you please mute your mic so that we could hear you? Dr. Eddidiong, can you hear me, please? All right, I think we're having a little bit of technical issues. So we'll just start the conversation whilst we wait for it to be fixed. This is Harmattan season. Let me start with, tell me one typical sick episode you've had in seasons like this. Oh, guess, hold on. Our guest is here. Good morning, Dr. Eddidiong. Are you here?
Yes, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning to our beautiful host. I'm so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you too. It's amazing that your bio reads that you are not just a doctor, but a wellness coach. And, you help people lose weight the right way. I can't buy that book because I'm trying to gain weight on a very lighter note, though. But let's start with how to really be safe and be healthy in this particular season that we're in. We know that the Harmattan season just comes with its own package, and many people fall ill, especially those that, their immune systems are not, equipped to be well. So can you explain the key health challenges that people face during the Harmattan season?
Okay, once again, good morning, and I'm happy to be here on this show. So, like you said earlier, the Harmattan season is, characterized by fluctuating weather conditions, and most of the time it's mostly dry and dusty. Okay, so, and for the health conditions associated with Harmattan, right, I would group them into, say, illnesses that are affecting the airway, that's the respiratory tract. Then we have illness affecting the skin as well as the eyes. Okay, so but for the respiratory tract, we have people coming down with common cold, and this is primarily due to irritation of the airway. So we have people coming down with cough, catarrh, sore throat, and this is particularly a very difficult time for people who are, asthmatic. Okay, so because the hypersensitivity tends to increase around this period due to the dust. So we have people that have us coming down with more episodes, more asthmatic attacks. Then for the skin conditions, we have people coming down with dry skin, cracked lips, eczema, and then also we have people that have some particular eye conditions that are worsened by
Dust.
All right, I guess we lost her again temporarily. And that's actually very, very, very common. I would say the only thing that really comes at me during this Harmattan season would be dust allergy and what comes with dust allergy. So sometimes, pardon me, Is this also part of the... Okay, our guest is here. Are you still with us, ma'am? Are you still with us? All right. Let's just hope that these technical issues will be resolved very quickly because we need our expert opinions. I was saying that the common thing that happens to me during the Harmattan season is dust allergy. And dust allergy comes with itchy nose, itchy eyes, itchy throat. And it's always a very, very terrible one. But I wonder why... I don't know. Just tell me, how does it feel like for you?
I think it's the same dust because just yesterday I was really, I mean, my eyes were tearing and all of that. So it was really, really painful. I think you were here now when I was complaining about the whole eyes thing. So I think I would agree with the whole dust. Then I think cough as well. Yeah, because I mean, I feel like in this period is naturally, I don't even like taking water. I'm one of those wrong persons that take water. Now, because of how there's, you know, before I say the economy, and Nigeria should leave me alone, please. I almost said the economy. But because of how the weather is and all of that, everywhere is cold, all dried. So I feel like it's very hard for me to take water constantly, but we forget to, I mean, we kind of forget that it's actually very nice or very good for us to stay hydrated and all of that. So I feel like in this time...
But, you know, even with hydration, I noticed that there was this time I was taking a lot of water. I was still drinking water, but my throat still felt very dried. I was like, I can't take any more water because I do not want to now feel that pressure of going to the toilet constantly. But I think our guest is here again with us. Dr. Eddidiong, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Perfectly, yes, perfectly. I hope that nothing takes you away from us again. All right, so we were talking about, you were explaining some of the frequent things that happen during this season, and I think you stopped at skin issues and diseases.
The likes of eczema.
Okay, so I was talking about skin issues common in Harmattan. So I was talking about dry skin, cracked lips. Some people come down with, you know, some irritation on their skin because of the dryness and the cracks that, you know, occur due to the Harmattan season. Then also there's some eye conditions that worsen during Harmattan, as well as itchy eyes, red eyes, painful eyes, and these things are quite common. And just like one of you said, can be quite, you know, disturbing and irritating, and could cause a lot of discomfort, you know, for people that usually come down with these conditions.
All right. So having mentioned all the things that, you know, affect us during the Harmattan season, now I think we should start talking about the preventive measures. What are those probably natural remedies or traditional remedies that you think we can start taking? You know, probably we also staying hydrated. She also made mention of the fact that, I mean, it's one thing to say, oh, let's keep taking water so that your throat don't get dried and all of that. But she still finds out that, I mean, my throat is still dried and I don't want that pressure of me going to the toilet every time or using the restroom every time. So what are, apart from we staying hydrated now, are there other, you know, ways or natural remedies that, you know, we can actually take for us to prevent, you know, falling into probably being dry skin or having all of these irritations?
Okay, thank you for your question. Okay, so prevention is like key. Okay, and because most of the respiratory conditions that are associated with, you know, this Harmattan is because of the dust and all that. So using a face mask, especially when you are going to be, for people who are constantly exposed to dust, or they have to be outside for a very long time, you know, during the day and all of that. So it's advisable that they get to use a face mask. Okay, and also appropriate clothing. Okay, appropriate clothing. So because you already know that the tendency of your skin getting dry is higher, so you get to like wear clothing properly, cover yourself as much as you can, in order to avoid, you know, like dust cracking in your skin and all that. Another thing is also eye protection. So you could use eyewear, right? So if you are prone to developing red eyes and all of that, so you have, you should protect your comfort, and especially for people that are so particular about how they look, right? So dry lips can be, so it's advisable to use, you know, lip balm. Okay, this will really help to make sure that the lips are moisturized. Also, using ensuring that the skin, is moisturized as much as possible is also going to help. Then also dehydration. There are some people that this Harmattan season, would really affect negatively, and that's people living with sickle cell disease. Or and dehydration will make them prone to developing more crises. That would mean more hospital visits, and nobody really wants that during this festive period, because you don't want illnesses affecting you and your loved ones, not allowing you to benefit maximally from the celebratory season. So yeah, is to stay hydrated.
Okay. Thank you for mentioning the festive and celebratory season. And we know that in seasons like this, people lose their control when it comes to eating, partying, and, just enjoying every good thing of life. So are there specific foods or drinks that can help us boost our immunity and maintain health during Harmattan? I want you to give us your medical expert view on what to eat and drink, or what not to also
All
eat
right,
and
thank
drink.
you so Okay, thank you so much. So, for the food to eat, like I said, I wrote a book, Calories 101, that helps people to know what to eat. But of course, this is the celebratory period, and everybody is, it wants to be outside, it wants to be, with your friends, and you get to actually, tend to munch on things that are not healthy. But I think the key is that you have to know that life goes beyond this celebratory period. So the whole Yuletide season will come and go, but you are still going to be remaining. So whatever you are going to be doing during this period is going to have, either a positive or negative impact on your health going forward. Okay, so the major thing is to ensure that you eat well. Now, when I mean eat well, as much as in your, celebrating and jollying, you should ensure that you prioritize eating healthy foods. And when I mean healthy food, I mean trying to minimize, eating processed foods. I know that things that we cannot particularly avoid, especially in this, season and time, but you can minimize it. It can be minimized in order to ensure that no matter what you do, you are still staying within the confines of your health. Okay, so eating foods that occur naturally, natural rice. I mean, this is celebratory season, so you get to eat people eating a lot of rice and all of that, jollof rice, especially. So eating in moderation is actually key. So then, as well as drinking, okay, people tend to take a lot of alcohol, and during this period. But it's also advisable, that this celebratory period is occurring, during this Harmattan season, and dehydration is a problem. So you want to, in the midst of all this, ensure that as much as, okay, let's say you are planning to drink, like, let me say, 3 bottles of maybe alcohol or soda maybe like in a day, you could minimize it to one and switch the others with a bottle of water. Okay, and I know that some people get tired of drinking water most of the time because they feel that, oh, this alcohol is coming in a fancy bottle. Why do I have to drinking water from a cup? So it's advisable. You can actually get a fancy bottle, put your water in there, or ensure that you're taking, water from a bottle. That kind of, gives this water like some level of prestige. Okay, so that you don't just like say, oh, why am I taking water when I can drinking other things and all that. So that could actually help, so that in the middle of the celebration and festivities, you are taking in at least enough water, all right, without having to also take other things that, is associated with.
Okay, just a follow-up question on that, because you mentioned processed food, and I think I want you to be more specific about what you mean by processed food and about drinking of water as well. Do you suggest that people can take water alongside other things in the water? Because we see people carry bottles now that it's, of course, there is water that is there, but then there's maybe a slice of lemon or lime or maybe honey. I don't know, do you think that is also advisable or just water? And then what are the processed foods that we should avoid?
And also, given the economy situation, right, I feel like it's not all the fruits that we can actually buy. Let's be for real. And how many times do we even eat these fruits? Do you know how much an apple is now? I mean, no, let's be realistic. 500. So I like us to be very practical. So while we are telling people that, okay, get so fruits, I think we should start probably naming the kind of fruit. Maybe watermelon, because I think it's a lot cheaper to happen, right? And I feel like their jobs are, I mean, what they do in the body are quite different. So we should start knowing what exactly we should buy when it comes to fruits now.
Okay, thank you for your question. So, as much as possible, I'll start with the processed food question.
All right.
So, we don't want people indulging. Like I said earlier, taking in processed food is actually something that you cannot avoid. So, processed food, like say, cake, pizza,
This season.
all those.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna eat cake.
Coca-Cola and so you could actually minimize intake of those things. Some people actually like it's something that you might not necessarily pay attention to because maybe you go somewhere in the morning, you take cake, you take pizza,
Right.
you take this. You don't even remember to maybe take like rice and other food, yam and stuff like that. You go somewhere in the afternoon, you're taking the same thing. You go somewhere in the night, you're taking the same thing. But if you can consciously, tell yourself that this is processed. Even if I cannot particularly avoid it this season, I can minimize how much of it I take.
Right.
Right. So that would help because when we will not particularly tell people. I mean, it takes away the fun of the celebratory period. Tell people, oh, don't eat this, don't eat that. You can eat what you like, but in moderation, except for people that are on a strict, diet, for health reasons. Then for the
water or
flavored water you
yes,
mentioned.
yeah, flavored water.
Yes, flavored water. And it's something that, helps, people taking more water. So some people can flavor their water with slices of cucumber. Some other people would do slices of lemon. Just a slice in a bottle is good enough. So just add this flavor, to the water. So it doesn't feel as though you're just taking something that doesn't have any flavor. Because naturally, water is supposed to be tasteless and odorless and all of that. So adding those slices of those fruits kinds of helps to up it a bit so that it gets you can desire to drink water. So let's say you're taking flavored water and probably maybe if it's in a fancy bottle or something, and you can maybe take your eyes off that bottle of soda or alcohol when you know okay, this is healthy, looks good, I can take it. It's just something that we have to just be conscious.
Right.
Consciously. That's why I'm glad this is coming up so people can know that there are things that they can just do. Yes, you cannot avoid taking all those things, but you can consciously do some other things like ensuring that you can take more water, flavored water, and all that. And then you also somebody also mentioned fruits.
Yes.
Fruits are expensive. As well as alcohol. I think I was passing by somebody telling me that somebody mentioned to my hearing how that a bottle of alcohol or this particular brand of alcohol had doubled. Okay, so I think it's just the economic situation. Things have generally increased, not necessarily that of food and all. I think it's just the fact that people have this bias when it comes to, like maybe, why do I have to go and buy one apple? But I can use this money to buy right? So it's just something that we should consciously do. And I mean, like you said, there's some fruits that are cheaper, compared to the other ones. I would not expect somebody that doesn't have so much money to go and say, oh, I want to take clementine, or I want to take grape, or I want to take kiwi, or blackberry.
Just take your oranges.
You can take your oranges, take your cucumber, take your watermelon. Those things that are that are just common in the local market and all that. You don't go to the supermarket and all that to get just common fruits. That's why Nigeria is so blessed. You have options. For people that are in the middle class, you can still eat healthy. People that are in the upper middle can eat healthy. So everybody's fine, in my opinion.
And that's so true. On a very lighter note, I really don't fancy all those fruits that have very fancy names. I'm very fine with my oranges, my pineapple, and my watermelon.
For real.
Honestly, my best fruit has to be pineapple and watermelon. You just slice it and give it to me.
You're missing the juice. Where will you keep mango?
I don't like mango. Mango is a very disgusting fruit to eat
Jesus
because I can't
Christ
eat it outside.
Nazareth.
And I don't like all those fancy way or you are cutting
You're just a bush woman,
I'm not
why.
bush. I'm just me. But thank you very much for that statement. You mentioned that we could actually afford, some fruits. And there's this thing that people usually say, or I've heard medical professionals say. They say if you think eating healthy is costly, what exactly is the cost for your own health, right? Because you think that it's very expensive to eat healthy regularly. But when you get to the hospital, I was sick last week or thereabout. The bills they were calling just to be admitted. I was like, oh, from now on, I'm going to be eating very healthy, boost my immune system and ensure that I'm kept safe. Okay, I'd like us to run on a very quick short break, and when we return, we'll continue our conversation with Dr. Eddidiong. Please stay with us. We'll be right back shortly. Thank you, viewers, for staying with us. It's Wellness Wednesday, and we've been joined by an expert guest, a doctor, medical professional, Dr. Eddidiong, who's been helping us on how to stay healthy in this particular season. She mentioned how that we can, take a lot of water, be hydrated. You could take flavored water, take fruits that are affordable if you are in the middle class. So that means it cuts across everyone. Now, I want us to also talk about children and those in vulnerable groups. Dr. Eddidiong, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Great. So how can parents ensure that children, elderly people, or other people in the vulnerable groups are well protected during this period? Because, children, for example, they're still growing up, their immune system is still building, and they're the ones that are very prone to get very sick this period. So what extra thing do you think parents need to start doing to ensure that their kids and wards are safe too?
Okay, thank you for your question. So for the children, okay, they, like you said, because their immune system is not as developed as adults that have been through a lot and stuff like that. They tend to come down with the respiratory illness like the cough, cold, and all that, more often, than the adult population. So for children, we ensure they are properly, they are appropriately clothed, this period. Okay. Also, feeding for kids is very important. And in the middle of it, you want to ensure that a child feeds properly. And I know I see a lot of people, have this idea that giving their kids, processed drinks and all that, the drinks that come in a pack. I don't want to mention names, all right? So switch, those for natural juices. So you want to do natural juices, you want to, find a way to make, make your kids, take more of fruits and vegetables. I know some children comes to things like that because they don't even know whether this is healthy or not. But I know that the online space is such an amazing place. Okay, so you can go online, search on YouTube, check for how to make orange juice, watermelon juice, smoothies, and all that. How to make it favorable for children to take. That way, you're ensuring that they are taking the vital nutrients that they need, to help their immune system to fight these common, illnesses that are particular with.
Okay, follow-up question
This
quickly on this taking of drinks. But growing up, we usually have our parents give us herbal drinks to take. They'll put, I don't know, there's some moods that they'll put in big ever bottle and they'll tell you drink. In fact, I watched one very funny video online. The woman wanted her child to really take this agbo, as they would call it, and then she put it in all this common fruit juice pack. Yeah. And the child took it not knowing what was coming to her. Do you think that's also part of what, I don't know, because I'm very, very skeptical when it comes to herbal drinks and the process of the making as well. But our parents always think that this is the best for you to boost your immune system. Yeah. Do you advise that based on your expertise?
Okay, so our parents acted the way they did because they didn't know much. They didn't know enough to avoid all these things. So, but now we know, especially now that information is everywhere. Okay, how that these herbal mixtures tend to come with some bad sides, especially because you are not sure of the dosing. And for children, their immune system is not even optimal. Talk more of their kidneys. Can their kidneys handle
all of those things?
Can their liver handle these things you are giving to them? Right. So I think that such things should be avoided. You should just stick to making sure that they eat well. The beautiful thing is that the food that we eat, rice, beans, yam, egg, all these things, right? They actually contain, nutrients that are essential for health and living, as well as fruit and all that. So rather than going to, just make some, agbo and herbal stuff just because you want to, fortify your children's immune system, why not feed them well? Why not minimize the amount of processed drinks and all that stuff that you just give to them when you know that, they're not going to be beneficial to their health entirely? So you don't want, the parents might just want trying to, do good, to this child, not knowing that you are doing more harm than good. Imagine a child, this celebratory season, having to come down with some symptoms of, kidney failure or liver failure
God,
just
I
because
beg.
of herpes. And at the end of the day, this child is going to be ill, end up in the hospital. That's even if they can afford, to pay the hospital bills. So that's why prevention is even very key. So as much as possible, we should avoid all these herbal, preparations and all that. Because most of the time, you don't know how much of it you should take, how much the body can handle, not to talk of children that are so young, tender, with, immune system that is not as developed as in adults. Then you also mentioned how elderly people can stay healthy in
Yeah,
this
elderly
midnight season.
people.
Elderly people. So elderly people, there's something that's characteristic with the elderly. All right, we've had them that they have not just one medical illness, they have multiple, medical illnesses that they are managing, they're even taking medications for. So one thing that we can do for our elderly population is to ensure that they kind of go for a checkup. I feel that every elderly person, whether or not you are managing any medical condition, you should just go for a health checkup. So you should more like know your state. So for somebody who is diabetic, for instance, or hypertensive, so you should be knowing, okay, what is my sugar level like? How
Level.
much is my medication controlling this? Are my medications optimal? So in order to avoid, untoward circumstances, health emergencies that can occur. Okay, so somebody that is diabetic, all right, and maybe for some reason runs out of medications, or for some reason decides to indulge, all right, in some interesting things during this holiday, and then before you know it, the person is rushed to the hospital. So we want to ensure that for elderly population, they eat well. Yes, they avoid, all these unnecessary things that people get to eat and drink, because their body is not. I mean, some of them are managing some medical illnesses that already has made, their immune system down and all that. So we want to, as much as possible, ensure that they are regular with their health checkup before, the celebratory season kicks off, in full force, and to also ensure that they eat well, their meds are refilled, medications are refilled, and all of that.
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to ask a question based on all the things you've made mention of before, the last thing you said. When you're talking about the whole Agbo thing, right? I feel like this part of the world, there's some certain misconceptions that, and when it comes to taking care of yourself, I mean, especially during this Harmattan season, you made mention of the fact that all of those herbal drinks and all of that is not really good. But the truth is, we hear them every day. We see them where they sell it. Like you hear, buy your herbal mixture here.
Yeah.
Am I the only person staying in the mainland? Honestly speaking, like you hear them say all of these things. And it's something that they have come to like adopt, right? And I don't want to mention like tribes, but I know for sure that there are some tribes that they would prefer those herbal drinks to even normal medications.
Agbo.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, I'm honestly speaking. In short, I think there's a time where I was not feeling well or something, and my mom would say, "No, I think there was a time I was only taking sugar," and she would say, "Oh, you see the Yoruba people, eh? When they finish taking all those their sugar finish, they will not take agbo jedi to not jedi
create.
everything out." So you said that there are so many things that they already believe in. So I would like you to talk about some certain misconceptions about when it comes to taking care of the health, especially in this Harmattan season, and how do we start changing this narrative.
To add to that very briefly, there's
Okay, thank
this.
you so much.
I'm sorry, doctor. I want you to answer this question alongside this particular myth. I don't know if it's a myth, but I've seen people do it a lot, especially when they come down with flu or
Okay.
a blocked nose, nasal congestion and all. So they take hot water, put it in a bucket where there's already methylated balm, very, very hot one, and then
Yeah.
they put their face in it
In
and
it.
cover with a very big blanket so that the heat can help take care of all those things. So because we are Nigerians and we know how to really survive through any season,
Especially when it comes to traditional
we have
stuff.
found different means to be able to, get our health back if we cannot afford some of these expensive drugs. Do you think this particular style that people do is also
Effective.
effective and proper?
Okay, I'll start from the last question.
Yeah.
All right.
I think what you described is what we usually call steam inhalation. It helps with nasal congestion that can be, found or noticed in people around the period. People can come down with blocked nose, a lot of catarrh and cough. That helps, but I think there are some precautions that I should mention. I've seen people come down with, that's like hot steam,
Yeah.
and then you're covering your head there, to
A
inhale the steam,
blanket, yeah.
covering a blanket. Yes, so that should be done with, optimal care and precaution, because peradventure this same hot, all right, we will not be, I mean, it will be a different ballgame entirely. Okay, so it's something that, yes, can be done, but carefully. Okay, and we would not advise that for children, especially when it's not done under
Supervision.
supervision. Okay, so it's just something that, yes, people do it, just like it's said. I mean, it's not everybody that can afford, in all honesty. It's not everybody that can afford to go to the hospital, maybe see a doctor, or get medications. But I know all those home remedies play a lot of, have a lot to play in, let's say first aid. The people do all those things before they get to the hospitals. When it's not working, say, let me see a doctor and all of that. So whatever it is that, especially when it comes to stimulation, please and please, you should do it with care, because we don't want, an individual coming down with burns, because you're just trying to help your flu, and then you come down with burns, then you have to go to the hospital, and all of that. Then for the agbo, using, herbal mixtures, well, it's something that is particular in Nigeria, because it's just things traditionally passed down and all that. But like I said, and I would say again, use of herbal mixture, most of the time, for the herbal mixtures that we have seen, or I'm familiar with, for instance, it doesn't necessarily have to mean, using this. It could even be using familiar, familiar ingredients. For instance, maybe like, somebody wants to do maybe like immune boosting drink. So you add in so much of ginger, so much of this, so much of that, so much of, and all of that. So the thing is that some of these things are very good. Like for instance, you want to make your food, you add your ginger, your garlic, and all those, natural spices and herbs. Perfect, because you are going to be adding it in little quantity. But by the time you are adding so much, you're maybe boiling it or mixing it or blending it, and you're putting it in it, like, and what is coming out, like, the product is like a very small cup. Imagine the concentration of this ingredient in a little quantity of what you're going to be drinking as a herb or drink or whatever. So in that way, we get to see people come down with irritation of their stomach lining, of their small intestine lining, and that way, people that have stomach ulcers, they can worsen it. We see people come down with bleed, they start bleeding from their mouth, vomiting blood or spilling blood, because they took all those herbal mixture. You get to buy from all those people that sell outside, especially in some parts of Nigeria. In fact, they even work it, they bring it to the place and tell you, this is going to cure this, this is going to help this, and then you just take it. All right. Most of the time, these things don't have, dosages. It's just like, okay, I want to take paracetamol, for instance, and I've been told that if I take 2 tablets of paracetamol, I can take it like 3 times in a day,
Right.
let's say 8 hours apart. That's what my body can handle, within this 8-hour period. This is when this paracetamol is going to wear off. This is when I should take another one. But most of the time, you see that all these herbal things, you take them, you can take something that maybe you're supposed to take over a 1 month period. You can take it in one sitting. We also have to understand that whatever it is that we take in our body, we have systems, that naturally cleans up our bodies. We have the liver plays a major role. We have the kidneys. So imagine if these organs are overwhelmed, they would fail. And when they fail, we are going to be dealing with a more bigger problem. Okay, so I think some things are just better avoided as much as possible. So now that we know, especially for people on this call, you can, encourage people or advise people that are outside, to avoid these things, because imagine you have a relative that's always indulging in taking of all this abo and herbal mixtures. By the time the problem comes, maybe the person comes down with kidney failure, liver failure, and all of that, they are going to call you. I hope you have enough money. So you should, like, encourage them now to avoid all these behaviors, because it's better we avoid these things than to start dealing with, the complications that come with it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Your bio also
Thank
reads, yes, your bio, we're done with the conversation and we've learned like a number of things that will help us keep safe in this celebratory season. Though on my own part, I know that it's going to take a lot of efforts to avoid processed food in this season because how will you tell me to be very careful with shawarma and cake? Ma, do you know what Christmas is? Shawarma and cakes and ice cream, and you have a lot of dates and outings and get together. But we've listened to your expert opinion, and we would, follow all through it. Yeah, and we didn't mention about talk about environmental safety and clothing and lifestyle. I'd like that to be your conclusive words as we begin to wrap up the show.
And I wanted to say something around fitness as well. Since you are, a wellness doctor, how do you think fitness, exercising, do you think that can also help, like during this time now, like the Harmattan season?
Okay, thank you very much for your question. All right, so I'll start with the last question. Exercise. Exercise plays a very important role. Some people feel that, oh, they really have to exercise because they want to lose weight. That's not true. Exercise plays a very important role in, helping our immune system, get stronger and better.
Yeah.
Okay, so that way we are better, our bodies are better equipped to, withstand the weather condition and what the health issues that come with it. And then also some people feel that has to exercise has to mean that, oh, I have to go to the gym. So if you don't have a gym membership, you cannot exercise. That's not true. So it can be as little as getting a skipping rope. You skip. It could be, it's in the little things, taking a walk, once in a while, 3 times in 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be, very, very huge. The most important thing is that these are things that are doing, on a regular basis. Okay, of course, the celebratory season will pass. It's going to be a new year very soon. And it's going to be permitting to just use the opportunity to tell people that as much as, yes, we are in the celebratory phase, by the time January, comes in, there's a new year. If you're not the kind of person that is always, used to including exercise, doing, paying attention to healthy routines, I think you should, add that to your New Year resolution, right, for the next year. That okay, I want to take my health
Very
seriously.
seriously.
Look, say for instance, somebody that has been exercising often, during the year. By the time the celebrity season comes, your health is already like optimized. You're better, you're in a better position health-wise. Your immune system is better, prepared for whatever comes, whatever the environment throws at it. Okay, so it's just something that we have to make a habit. All right, little exercise can be as little as 10 minutes in a day before you step out of your house. Home exercises. We have a lot of videos on YouTube, pages that you can follow. Okay, just exercise in your home space. You don't even have to come outside some of the time. You don't even have to, wear a gym wear, put on your shoes. You can even exercise, in your pajama. All right. So exercise is not like something that is so, people are so scared. They are like, how do I do exercise? I cannot afford a gym membership and all of that. Okay, so lifestyle modification is something that we should take, in cognizance, even during this festive periods, as well as, from the next year. It's better when we are healthier together.
I like that.
All of that. Yes, better when we're healthier together. So I think you also mentioned about environmental changes and all that.
Yeah.
I think as much as possible, just that there's going to be a lot of outing dates and all that. We have already discussed about the health challenges that this particular period could come with as a package, right? But we can be better equipped. That's why this has held,
Yes.
this session has held. So yes. So if you are going to be out, maybe you are going to be visiting a dusty place, please ensure that you have a face mask in your bag so that you can protect yourself. Make sure that whatever you're inhaling is not dusty air and all that. Get your eyewear for protecting your eyes whenever you are faced with a challenge. It's not when you now get there, that's when you're like, oh.
All right, we've run out of time. Thank you very much for your contribution. As the saying goes, health is not valued until sickness comes. So please take good care of your health this season and have a wonderful holiday. See you tomorrow.
Hello, you. Yes, you. This is Usayome Sale from Ways Primetime. Now, we appreciate your continued support for watching our content, following us across all our social media. But we've noticed, for those of you watching us on YouTube, 88.5% of you who watch our content aren't subscribed to our channel. Why? Now, if you are enjoying our content, you enjoy our shows, and you want to stay updated on all things Ways, it's time to hit that subscribe button below. Now, subscribing isn't just for you. It's for the growth of our channel. It helps us get bigger and better. With your support, we can continue to bring even more intriguing and exciting content. How about you subscribing right now and being a part of our community?